In an intense gun battle between the NSCN-K Nikki Sumi Group and the NSCN Unification Group, a cutter of NSCN-K Nikki Group was killed in Newland. Deceased identified as Atoka Kinimi, an additional secretary of the NSCN-K Nikki Sumi faction. 14 tribal hohos of Nagaland called for a quick solution to the Naga peace talks, urges all parties involved to come to a conclusion without further delay. Dera Sacha Soda head Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh and 4 others sentenced to life imprisonment in the murder of manager Ranjit Singh nearly 2 decades ago. A special CPI court in Panchkula on Monday awarded life imprisonment. Movement of over 160 trains around the country hid amid a rail roko protest called to press for the dismissal of Union Minister Ajay Mishra and arrest of a Lakhimpur incident in Uttar Pradesh. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan calls an emergency meeting to take stock of the situation as the death toll in flood-related incidents in Kerala increases to 27, with 22 casualties. Kottayam and Idukki emerge as 2 worst hit districts. Hello and welcome to Nagaland TV. You are watching English Primetime. I'm Chiben Kung. Here are the stories in details. GPRN NSCN-K Additional Secretary of Central Secretariat was killed by faction NSCN-U during a clash that took place between the NSCN-K and NSCN-U. After years of peace, factions clashed for the first time. The funeral service for Atoka Kinimi was held at Barampukri on 16th October at 9 a.m. Clash between the 2 factions occurred at Newland, Dimapur. According to some NSCN-U sources, they had no bad intentions over the situation. They had only acted on the basis to protect themselves and stated that if all they had bad intentions, they would have killed everyone who entered the camp. Their further statement stated that the bloodshed would not lead to any solution or solve problems. The whole retaliation act was to protect themselves. The 14 tribal hohos of Nagaland had an emergency meeting on 16th October at Commissioner Guest House, Kohima, and unanimously resolved to reaffirm all its previous stance in matter of Naga solution. On behalf of Naga hohos, press release was given by KD Vile convener and Lachi Layunba secretary. Tribal hohos of Nagaland urged all negotiating entities in the Naga political talks to wrap up the process of signing an agreement without further delay. They also reaffirmed that the tribal hohos would stand united for the larger interest of the Nagas for early solution and appealed to all the negotiating parties that any part of agreement that is to be implemented in Nagaland should be made known to the tribal hohos of Nagaland before the final solution is signed. They further stated that anything that is for the Nagas of Nagaland will be determined by the tribal hohos of Nagaland. Kohima, the district capital, has slowly started to pick up its pace in reopening the town to 100 capacity, with most institutions now operating on a 100 capacity basis. A few sections of local business services such as taxis and buses are yet to receive a green light from the authorities. It is also to be mentioned that most of the taxis have now removed the plastic shield, which was made compulsory for all drivers to protect them and the passengers, but with limits set in carrying passengers and fares staying the same as before. With schools and colleges set to reopen at full capacity, more students would need to apply for these transport services more often than before. But with limits set in carrying passengers should these transport services be now allowed to operate as it used to be before the pandemic. In regards to this matter, reporter from Nltv has asked a few questions relating the given restrictions and fares they collect from passengers to a taxi driver. Come, let us have a look.
Welcome to Nltv. Aji Nltv dan yede Kohima da ina je all RD office puruna la jaga de yede parking zone han dina thaya ta da ina je. To yede aina thayo to ami than idu taxi drivers han de hotaw di kurule je ki ajeli church aru idu school colleges thambi ase khola luise aru 100% capacity thambi di de ase. To ida Kohima di du taxi dan kina ja je. Kina function ni ja je aru tahan kiman passenger luija ro fare kiman loidu hotaw di kurule ase. Aibi ide ami than lo driver ekjon ase tai lo hotaw di kuru. Hello bhai idu apni bi taxi ide chola je Kohima de to idu ida do fare than kiman hoisi do olop kui dubo.
Acha fare khan tu ne 100 ase town trip hoile bi aro idu higher hisab hoile bi 100 ase colony khan pura town aha aro alag alag jaga dur jaile bi alag hisab te jaga hisab te bada loy.
Acha idu miss ini ala colonial taxi luina town de aya sulu do 100 ase fare do. Hoina
100
aro olop dur jawle je nulu higher ase uli du hisab te dam do thai.
hoy olop double दूसरा जगह होइले डबल हिसाब ते उठाय.
अच्छा तो तोन इना भाड़ा थांदो कोन इस नलो दाम हुइसे आई मीन ओलो बिसि हुइसे तो इदु पैसेंजर थान अपनी थांदे गालेला नागाले बिसि दाम हुइसे ना गुना
नाही नेगा तो न होय
आरो इदु अपनी थांदो इता तो इदु कोविड ला सिचुएशन ए जे आसिस्ति किबा किबि इदु ठंडा ठंडा होआ जिना कुइलिबि तो इदु इता तो अपनी थान पैसेंजर दो किमान ओथाय मैक्सिमम बिसि कमदि किमान ओथाय ना जाय अपनी थान
पैसेंजर तो दुजन ते उठाय होइले भी केतियाबा बाय चांस केतियाबा बेसी इमरजेंसी होइले तीनजन एनेका न होय दुजनी बुके
आरो इदु पुलाम दिदो कोविड ला एकदम गरम ला टाइम दिदो साइसे उलिदो टैक्सी दिबि आमी थान मिडल दे इदु प्लास्टिक ला कवर गनायना राखि थाके आजिगलो तो साइलो एकटा टैक्सी बि नै इदु खुशी खुशी खोला आजलाइनि अपनी थान ला खुशी ला हुइना ला ऑफिस लाइना आइना इदु प्लास्टिक तो ओलाई दिसे ओलप कुइ दिबि ता दिबि
इतु तो एनै मीन्स माइका पराय लगाइसे तो ना तो इतु तो एनै हवा परा भी खुली दे लगाइ थाके आजिकाली तो एनै सिचुएशन अलप बाल होइसे इतु बरा तो खुली दिसे हले भी कते बरा कोआ भी নাই নিজৰ নিজৰ ড্ৰাইভাৰ হানি ইনে কৰিছে.
আচ্ছা তো ইদু ফেয়ার অলপ দাম অলপ আমি ধান আপনি কোয়া নিচিনা 100 আছে আৰু ইতুলা জনসন যাইলে তো বেশি বেশি উঠিনা যায় তো ইদু তো পেট্রোল ধানলা দাম উঠিয়াগানি বি আছেলা ইদু ইনাহে আপনি ধান পুলা লাইনা ওনেহে যা আছে
পয়লা পৰাই এনেকা আছে.
ঠিক আছে বেশি থ্যাঙ্কস ইদু রিপোর্ট লুবলে আইছে আমি আছে রবিন থং আৰু আমি লা ক্যামেরা পারসন ইমলি সাংলার থ্যাংক ইউ ফর ওয়াচিং NLTV Somanula was
Dimapur, in spite of being the commercial capital of Nagaland, the people here are facing problems due to the severe traffic congestion. Nltv on Monday went to the scene and investigated about the situation. While speaking to the public regarding the situation, they shared their plight. The public further urged the government of Nagaland to look into the matter.
दुख बेसी पाए আছে सब ফানে 90 কৰি কিনা আছে উপায় নাই তো কি কৰো মখান বি অটো ড্রাইভার আছে তেলা বি দাম ইমান হইছে মখান কব না পারে মানুখান মাগিলে তো তাইখান ধমকি দে কি করব ইমান দাম নাই তো মখান কি করব উপায় নাই
তো আপনি আমি গভর্নমেন্ট খান কে রিকোয়েস্ট করব মন জানো মন যায়
গভর্নমেন্ট কা খান তুম কবলা মন যায় মখান কে হেল্প দিবি কিবা না তো কানে কো আছে
ট্রাফিক ল পড়ে কেবে একটা শেয়ার করম যাও আপনি লা ওপিনিয়ন
ট্রাফিক তো এক্সট্রিম আছে এক্সট্রিম এইটো কন্ট্রোল কৰিব কাৰণে আপোনাখান তো যিমান আমাৰ হিচাপতে যিমান আপোনাখান এইটো নো এন্ট্ৰি লাগাইছে এইটো একবাৰ চাব লাগিব আপোনাখানকে নো এন্ট্ৰি পৰাই আমাৰ হিচাপ পৰা বেছি ট্রাফিক জাম হৈ থাকে এফালে নাহমাবি তাফালে নাহমাবি পুৰা আইকেনে একটা ৰাস্তাতেই আহিব তো এইটো আহা পৰাই জাম তো আমাখান হিচাপতে আছে এইটো আপোনাখান বেছি জানা মানুহ আছে এইটো হিসাব কৰি কৰিবি আৰু তেল লাগা তো ক'বলে নহয় এইটো এভৰি ডে লাগা হৈ যাইছে যেনেকা ভাত খাওয়া নিচা নামাখান হৈ যাইছে এভৰি ডে মর্নিং তে জানে যে 40-50 পাইস কৰি কিনে বাঢ়িব আৰু আইকেনে আমিখান তেল দিয়া মানুহ লগতে ঝগড়া কৰে তাইখান বি কাম কৰা মানুহ আছে তাইখানকে একো ক'বলে বি নাই হলে বি মন লাগা দুখ তো তাইখান পৰাই ওলাই এইটোই আছে আৰু গভর্নমেন্ট কে রিকোয়েস্ট কৰি আছে প্লিজ সাবি আপনি খান জিএসটি তে আনিবি ইটো খান স্টেট গভর্নমেন্ট 64% পায় তাই খানকে হাঁটাবি আপনি খান বি না পাবি 18-28% লৈ কিনে 14 শেয়ার কৰিবি
এইটো ট্রাফিক জাম থাকাটো এইটো নো এন্ট্রি থাকাটো এইটো বাটাচাৰ আলি এইটো টিভি পুৰা নো এন্ট্রি ৰাখি দিছে আমি খান ইমান দুখ পাই আছে এইটোৰ পৰা আৰু তেল দাম বি ইমান হৈ গৈছে আমি খান ক'ত হ'লে বি আমি খান দুখ দিয়ে তাহান না আৰু আমি খান অটো ড্ৰাইভাৰ খান তাহান হিচাপেই নকৰে এইটোৰ পৰা এইটো অলপ চাই দিলে আমি খান ভাল আছে তেলৰ দাম বি
Mr. Kopilo Krome released his book titled Beloved, a collection of poems at the Oriental Grand Hotel Kohima. Today's special guest for the program was MLA Mr. Krehu Lechiche, who also launched the book during the launch program. The program was chaired by Mr. Oken Jit Sadantam, editor NEPS, the publisher of the book Vishu Rita Krocha from Penthrill Publication House. In her publisher's note, said she hopes that people would enjoy the book as much as she did, and ended her publisher's note by reciting the first poem from Mr. Krome's book Beloved.
For coming to celebrate my day today. Now, even as I am happy, it is also a proud day for my wife and my siblings, who had since then have kept their fingers crossed and wanting to see the poems I have penned some 30 long years to be published.
I wanted to congratulate my friend, Mr. Kopilo, for his accomplishment in producing his work, The Beloved, which I believe is a collection of poems written in a span of many years, putting in a lots of efforts and hard work. Thank you, Kopilo.
Congress leader Priyanka Kanti Vatra on Monday hit out at the Bharatiya Janata Party government at a center over rising fuel prices, saying petrol and diesel are now more expensive than aviation turbine fuels. She said that the BJP government had promised that people wearing Hawaii chapel slippers will travel in airplanes. However, she claimed that the BJP has increased the fuel prices so much that now it is difficult for the middle class to travel by road. This was tweeted by her Priyanka Kanti Vatra in Hindi and attached a newspaper clipping comparing aviation turbine fuel prices with that of petrol and diesel. Aviation fuel now costs ₹79 per litre, while petrol costs ₹105.84 a litre in Delhi. Former Congress Chief Rahul Gandhi also took a dig at the government. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is holding a meeting with police chiefs of all states to discuss security and coordination issues. The meeting started at 2 p.m. and will continue till 10 p.m. It was also stated that last month Amit Shah met top officials from 10 states affected by left-wing extremism to review the security situation and progress of development projects. A rail roko protest called to press for the arrest of Union Minister Ajay Mishra's dismissal and arrest over the Lakhimpur incident in Uttar Pradesh, in which his son has been arrested, hit the movement of over 160 trains across the country on Monday. Notably, the Samyukta Kisan Morcha and Umbrella Body of Farmers Unions has held a peaceful nationwide rail roko protest from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for justice in the Lakhimpur Kheri violence in Uttar Pradesh.
इसलिए जा रहा हूँ कि ये ट्रेन रोक दी गई है और मैं आगे अब मैं सुनने में ये आ रहा है कि किसानों ने आगे लाइन रोक रखी है, इस वजह से ये ट्रेन चल नहीं रही है। इसलिए मेरे को ड्यूटी पे जाना है, मैं सो रहा हूँ, इसलिए मैं यहाँ से जा रहा हूँ। कितनी परेशानी है इस वजह से हो रही है? बहुत परेशानी हो रही है जी। अब इंसान तो यही सोच के आता है, इतने सारे रिजर्वेशन वाले लोग हैं, सबका कैंसिल हो रहा है, सबको कोई नहीं जा पा रहा है, तो परेशानी है जी। आप लोग यहाँ पे ट्रेन सर ये कम से कम 15 रुकी हुई है ये ट्रेन। दिल्ली से आ रहे थे, जाना था और नरेला जो है गाड़ी को रोक दिया गया है। क्या कह रहे हैं, किस लिए, क्या कारण बताया गाड़ी रोकने का? ये किसान आंदोलन करके बोल रहे हैं सुबह 10 से शाम 6 बजे तक। इसलिए
जी हम दिल्ली से बैठे थे और हम सोनीपत जा रहे हैं। अच्छा अब किस लिए आप यहाँ पे पैदल चलना पड़ रहा है आपको ट्रेन से पहले?
ये किसानों ने आंदोलन कर रखा है, इस वजह से हमें पैदल चलना पड़ रहा है।
ये गाड़ी है जो ये गुजरात से चल के और कुरुक्षेत्र जाने वाली थी और गाड़ी इसलिए रोक दी गई है कि इन्फॉर्मेशन आ रही है कि किसानों ने आंदोलन कर दिया है और उसके वजह से ये ट्रैक के ऊपर जो किसान बैठे हुए हैं उन्हीं की वजह से गाड़ी रुकी हुई है ये।
A special CBI court in Panchkula on Monday awarded Dera Sacha Soda head Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh and 4 others life imprisonment in the murder of manager Ranjit Singh nearly 2 decades ago. The 4 others were identified as Krishnan Lal, Jaspir Singh, Avdar Singh and Saptil. The court slapped a fine of rupees 31 lakh on Dera chief, rupees 1.50 lakh on Saptil, rupees 1.25 lakh each on Jaspir and Krishnan, and rupees 75,000 on Avda. 50% of this amount will go to late Ranjit Singh's family. To strengthen overall military preparedness to deal with any Chinese misadventure, India has significantly cranked up its day and night surveillance at the line of actual control in the Arunachal Pradesh sector on Sunday. As tension boiled over between the two countries following the Galwan Valley clashes last year, India ramped up its overall deployment along the nearly 3,400 kilometer long LSE, besides speeding up infrastructure development to gain a tactical advantage. According to sources, drones and weapon systems integrated variant of the advanced light helicopter Rudra are carrying out round-the-clock surveillance over the LSE in the mountainous terrain and sending crucial data and images to command and control centers. In a shocking incident, a lawyer has been shot dead inside a district court complex in Uttar Pradesh, Shahjahanpur. The dead man has been identified as Bhupendra Singh. Notably, his body was found on the 3rd floor of the complex, and a country-made pistol was also spotted near to the dead body. Reportedly, the lawyer was speaking to someone and suddenly there was a loud bang and fell to the floor. A police officer's speeding vehicle allegedly ran over 2 girls on Monday morning near the highway in Punjab's Jalandhar. The accident left one of them dead on the spot while the other was seriously injured and was admitted to a local hospital. As per reports, the deceased has been identified as Navjot Kaur, who used to work at a local car showroom. Navjot was standing on the roadside along with her friend when the speeding vehicle allegedly mowed them down. The cop who was allegedly driving the car has been identified as Amritpal Singh and has been arrested. This incident has triggered protest as the families of the victims blocked the highway seeking justice over the case. Two persons have been arrested by the Madhya Pradesh police on Monday in Bhopal's Aint Kheri village for allegedly forcing a woman to remove her burqa. Bhopal Deputy Inspector General of Police Irshad Wali on Monday informed that a video went viral on social media in which the woman is being forced to remove her burqa. As can be seen in the video that has been circulating in the social media, the woman, who was riding a pillion on a scooter, was forced to remove her burqa by some unidentified people who claimed that she was a disgrace to their community. The woman was also asked to remove her hijab and unmask her face. The DIG further informed that the police have registered a case and 2 people have been arrested in this connection. Bollywood actress Jacqueline Fernandez, for the fourth time, skipped the summons by the Enforcement Directorate issued in connection with a money laundering case against fraudsters Sukesh Chandrasekhar and his actor wife Lina Paul. The agency, which investigates financial crimes, had last recorded her statement as a witness in the case on August 30. Since then, the 36-year-old actress has skipped summons on September 25, October 15, 16 and today. As per sources, Jacqueline Fernandez cited professional commitments behind her no-show. Sukesh Chandrasekhar and Lina Paul have already been arrested by Delhi police for allegedly duping the family of Fortis healthcare promoter Shivinder Singh of around rupees 200 crores. Sleuths from the Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption (DVAC) conducted searches at 43 places linked to former Health Minister and AIADMK senior leader Dr. C. Vijaya Bhaskar today. The FIR registered by the DVAC says that the former minister and his wife Ramya had amassed illicit wealth to the tune of rupees 27.22 crore during the check period of 5 years ended on 31st March 2021. 43 properties linked to Vijaya Bhaskar are spread over Chennai, Chengalpattu, Kanchipuram, Coimbatore, Trichy and Pudukkottai. As per the sources, the Vigilance Agency has initiated the raid based on complaints of disproportionate assets accumulated by Vijaya Bhaskar. This came after a case of disproportionate assets was registered against Vijaya Bhaskar and his wife on Sunday. C. Vijaya Bhaskar is the fourth former minister to come under the DVAC scanner after Mr. Vijaya Bhaskar, SB Velumani and KC Veeramani after DMK assumed power in the state. After allegedly ingesting snacks in Uttar Pradesh Raebareli area, three sisters aged 8, 6 and 4 years became ill and succumbed to death. The event was reported in Mirza Inaya Dulbar Pati village in the district's Uchahar region on Saturday. The deceased have been identified as Bihu 4, Vidhi 6 and Vaishnavi 8. The girls' father Navin Kumar Singh stated that he bought loose snacks including puffed rice from the Jamunapur market on Friday evening, following which they took ill and passed away. According to the police, the three girls started vomiting and even then the family took them to the NTPC hospital where doctors declared Vaishnavi dead, while the others were sent to the district hospital where they succumbed during the treatment. Further investigations underway. South Korea has decided to increase its target reduction level of greenhouse gas emissions to 40% by the end of the decade. In a carbon neutrality committee meeting in Seoul, the South Korean president said that the bar was raised from 26.3% to 40% by 2030 in an ambitious goal to reduce greenhouse gases. President Moon Jae-in asserts on Korea's determination to reach net zero emissions by 2050. And that's all we have for you now. For more news and updates, keep watching Nltv.